Is the U.S. at war with ISIS?
Well, you know, we're engaged in a major counterterrorism operation. And
Not
it's
a
going
war.
to be a long-term counterterrorism operation. I think war is the wrong terminology and analogy, but the fact is that we are engaged in a very significant global effort to curb terrorist activity. And it's unfortunately too prevalent in certain parts of the world, and in certain cases represents a direct threat to the United States and to our interests in those regions. So we're going to have to obviously be super focused on that, but I don't think people need to get into war fever on this. I think they have to view it as a heightened level of counter-terrorist activity. It'll have a slightly higher level of activity, but it's not dissimilar to what we've been doing in the last few years with al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and in Yemen and elsewhere.
The president stayed away from saying that we're at war with ISIS. Is the U.S. at war with ISIS?
No, look, we're engaged in a counterterrorism operation of a significant order. And counterterrorism operations can take a long time. They go on. I think war is the wrong reference term with respect to that. But obviously it involves kinetic military action. It has its dangers, but it's critical to the security of the United States. I think that's the wrong terminology. What we are doing is engaging in a very significant counterterrorism operation. And it's going to go on for some period of time. If somebody wants to think about it as being at war with ISIL, they can do so, but the fact is it's a major counterterrorism operation that will have many different moving parts.
Well, I think words matter. Words are important. It's important, you know, how you define this to your enemy. And when you pull back on saying this is not a war, it's a counterterrorism mission, I think that weakens the mission. And it weakens overall what we're trying to do. And we've seen this consistently throughout the administration because, remember, he ran on the president that's going to end the wars. We can't use the word radical Islam because that would offend the Muslim world. We can't talk about caliphates because that's too crazy of an idea. In fact, but that's what al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, calls it, as a caliphate. Remember, even Fort Hood, Major Hassan, workplace violence, Benghazi, a video. We've seen a consistent pattern of trying to downgrade the threat. And when the president would say these things, and with the briefings that I would get in a classified setting, and then I'd hear what the president would say, I just wondered if he was getting the same type of information. It defies reality, and it defies what's truly happening across the globe, and I think that's a dangerous narrative.
You know, it's hard to find a response to that. Then what was the president talking about last night? Then if they're just a counterterrorism organization, then we just want to contain them, because if you can contain terrorist organizations, then you don't have to worry about them. I thought the president said last night that he wanted to defeat them. This is just like John Kerry when the president said he was going to attack Syria in response to the chemical weapons issue, and said, and John Kerry, the exact words, that the attack would be, quote, unbelievably small. This is John Kerry, vintage.